My name is Heather, and welcome to another episode of Season 3 of Cover to Cover Canva Edition, my series where I share my process with you creating a children's book using Canva elements. I'll include my copyright reminder here. And remember, this isn't a tutorial, it's just me sharing my design process with you. So if you'd like more step-by-step instructions, I have a children's book course that walks you through the whole process from start to finish. And I also have some YouTube tutorials, and I'll link all of those in the description below. I have Kara's book pulled up here, and last episode I changed the outlines on the characters. I had to bring them into Photoshop to do this, but they ended up looking so much more consistent with the style of the Logan character, and I'm really happy with it. So here you can see the Grandma character with her colored outlines instead of those dark black outlines. So for this episode, we're going to do our next 2 pages. This one says, on the 4th day, a strong blizzard rolls in and the wind starts to howl. Looking worried, Grandma checks the pantry. I need to hurry into town before it gets worse and get groceries for the cookies we make every year. What if you slip? Logan asks. Let's see what poses we have for Grandma that might be good for this scene. We have one right here where she looks very worried, so that would probably be perfect for this scene. So we could use that one for when she's looking at the groceries. And then I'll also modify these outlines as well, but I'll just do that off camera. And then Logan is worried about her slipping, so this might actually be a good one. His hair color is a little bit too light here though compared to his other hair color, so I'll probably just need to darken that. And then other than that, I think that one is probably good. But I'm going to start with the background. So now that I have an idea of what the characters look like, I think that since Logan asks, what if you slip? That's kind of like a separate thing that's happening because she's looking in the pantry and saying, I need to hurry into town. And then I feel like on the next page, it should say, Logan asks, what if you slip? So I'm going to just copy this, take the first part out, and then the what if you slip line, I'm just going to put it on the next page. And then I'll just take it out of this first paragraph. So what I'm thinking is that rather than do like an entire kitchen scene, which might be kind of complicated, I think it'll be easier to just have each of these in a bubble. So that way we'll just have Grandma looking in the pantry. And then in this one, I could just have Logan with a worried face. I think that'll be a lot easier. I think actually I could break this up into 2 parts because it looks like a lot of text here. I can have where it says, looking worried, Grandma checks the pantry. And then down here, it will be the part she says, I need to hurry into town. And I think that breaks up the text a lot better. Now, let's see if we can find a pantry. Maybe not. We might need to kind of create it from scratch, but let's see. Oh, wow. This one actually has the right kind of shading, and it has a lot of pantry items. So we could use this just so we have the shelves with all of the stuff on it. And then I would want to have like doors on it, so it's like a pantry in a house. And then maybe like some kind of wallpaper on the back, because that would be cute. Let's look for like a plaid wallpaper. I think maybe like this beige looking one, because it would be kind of subtle. But it's still kind of bright, so it allows the food to stand out. And I'm just going to repeat this. Now, let's see what it would look like with doors over it. Oh, this one's like way too realistic. I think this door fits the style pretty well. I might just want it to be a little bit wider so that you can see more of the pantry. So I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to move the new one over a little bit so the new door frame will be this big, because I'm just going to take the new one and I'm going to crop it, and I'll crop out the door. And then with the old one, I'll crop it and crop out that left half. So now when you put those two together, it makes a wider door frame. So now you can just see a little bit more of the pantry. I can't make it too wide though, or else it'll look unrealistic with the skinny door. So I'm going to group these together, and I'm going to pick which part of the pantry I want to include. I like those little peppers hanging, they're cute. So I probably want to keep that. And then I'm just going to crop off the rest of the pantry that I don't need. And then let's grab the pantry and the door, and I'll move those over. I just need to make sure that the wallpaper covers the whole thing. And actually I can probably get rid of some of this, at least crop this out. Now let's go ahead and add Grandma in. So I'm going to copy her, and then I'll paste. And I'm going to flip her. Now let's add a wall and a floor. Let's see if we can find like a wooden floor. I think I like the floor on this one, but just not the wall. So I'm going to make it big enough to be the floor. And then I'll move it to the back. And then I'm going to crop it. And I'm going to just only include the floor here. And the other thing is that this wood is like a cool tone and the door is a warm tone. So I'm going to edit the floor to make it look better with the door, so they look more coordinated. So I'm going to click on the floor and go to edit. And then I'm going to go to adjust. I'm going to go to temperature, and I'm going to make this warmer. That looks a lot better. Like it really looks like it matches the door a lot better. Let me see if I could lighten it a little bit too. And maybe a little less contrast. Let's move this so that it touches the floor, and then I'm going to extend this baseboard so that it goes all the way across. So I'm going to press the letter R on my keyboard to bring up a rectangle, and I'm going to make it the same size as the baseboard that's already there. I'm going to send it behind, and then let's make it the same color as that baseboard. And then there's a little highlight here too, so let's grab this and duplicate it so we can make that little highlight. I'll make it shorter so it's the same height, and then I'm just going to match that color. Then it looks like there's still a little more baseboard behind it, so let's just pull this up. Now the baseboard is extended across the whole picture, and all we need now is some kind of wall design, which I'm really loving using different wallpapers for this, because since it's Grandma and Grandpa's house, I just picture them having some really cute wallpapers. So let's see what we can find here. And we want something that will look like it goes in the kitchen. So I wonder if we can do like a fruit wallpaper. Ooh, this is super cute. And it definitely looks like a grandma wallpaper. So I'm going to send it to the back, and then I'll just duplicate it. Now that I see this full page, I kind of don't really want to put a bubble around it. So what I'm thinking is maybe I'll just move this whole design to page 2. And I can just toss Logan in this picture with her, and we'll have all the text on one side and the picture on the other. Because the way that it is right now, we can't really have text here unless we were to put like a box behind the text, and I don't really love the way that that looks. So I think that I would rather have the text on one page and the image on the other. So I'm just going to grab all of this. And then, by the way, you can hold down Shift and click on the things you don't want, and it'll take those out of your selection. So I just took the text out of my selection, and I'm going to do Cut, and then I'll come down here and do Paste. So now I'm going to grab the text and cut and paste it here, and I'll just change all of this so that it's back to being in one text box. But I will put these line breaks here because I do feel like that helps break up the text a bit so it's not just one big paragraph. Let's go ahead and grab Logan, and I'll paste him in. Now let's just change his hair so that it is black, so that it matches his hair in the other scenes. So I'm going to go to Edit, Adjust, and I'll come down here to Color Edit. It looks like the only colors here are blue for his shorts, and then his skin color, and then green for his shirt. So instead, I can come up to blacks, and if we make the blacks darker, then that can make his hair look more black. So I think that works. And one last thing is I kind of feel like the pantry should be more empty if she's worried about it. So I'm going to go into the pantry. So I'm going to ungroup this whole thing. And I'm going to grab the actual pantry part. And let's go to Edit, Magic Eraser. And let's see if we can take some of these items out so it looks a little more empty. It doesn't need to look completely empty, but just so it doesn't look so packed full. Let's see if the click method works. Sometimes it works good and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, it left it white. So let me see if I erase it with the brush if it actually goes away. So I guess I'll just have to do it with the brush because the click thing just makes it white. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, I think this one also would be easy to take out, the one with the olives, because it's not overlapping anything. So I'm going to do this one as well. I do think that looks a little bit better because it looks a little more empty. I think I'll do one more, so I'm going to do this red one. Okay, I think that looks pretty good, but this part down here, I wasn't really able to do it perfectly because you can see the bottom part of the shelf. So I'm just going to fill that in with a rectangle. So I'm going to press the letter R on my keyboard to bring up a rectangle. And I'm going to change the color to be the color of the shelf. And then I'll make it really small so that it's the size of the shelf here. And then there's one other part that I need to touch up right up here because I accidentally erased a little bit of that. So I'm just going to copy this over. We can also add some shadows to Grandma and Logan. So I'll go over here and search for shadow. And I'm going to move this underneath Grandma. And I'm also going to make it lighter because the shadow as is really dark. And then I'm just going to copy it over to Logan. And now the last thing is that this is a little bit kind of zoomed out and you see a lot of empty space around it. So I'm just going to grab everything and I'll zoom out a little bit. And then I'm just going to make this all bigger because I always think bigger is better. It just helps you to see the scene more and really zooms in on everything. I'm also noticing one more thing, unfortunately, which is I feel like the illustration of the pantry is a little bit blurry. So I think I'm actually going to need to make it smaller because I might just be sizing it up too much and making it blurry. So I'm just going to extend this because we had it cropped. I think that looks a little bit better, and then I can just add maybe a shelf or two above. So I'm going to grab the original one and duplicate it. And then I know there were a lot of shelves here, so I should be able to just extend it. And I'm going to crop off the bottom shelves. And then I'll use a couple of these on top. The only thing is now I should probably maybe remove this jar and maybe that jar just to make it look a little more empty again. Now this page is done, except for the outlines on Grandma, which I'll fix those up off camera. And for the page on the left, I would like this to be a little more interesting. So I'm thinking we can put like pantry items around it. I wonder if it would make sense to put the items that they would need for cookies. Like we could put flour and sugar and chocolate chips. I think that might be cute. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to search for flour. And let's do sugar. Oh, and we would need eggs, vanilla. There doesn't really seem to be a bag of chocolate chips, so I'll just do a cluster of them, I guess. And we need butter and some brown sugar. There's not a good brown sugar bag. This is kind of a cool little tag here, so maybe we can just find a plain sack. Oh, here's one. And then we can just put this on top of it. And then I think we just need baking soda and baking powder. Now I'm just going to make all this stuff a little bit smaller so it doesn't take up so much space. Give it a little breathing room. I think that's good. So let's go ahead and preview this in Simplebooklet and we can see what it looks like. So I'm going to go to Share, See All, Simplebooklet Flip, All Pages, and Save. Here is our page from today. I think it's really cute and I love the wallpaper in the grandma's house. I would like to have that wallpaper in my house. Let me know what you think. Is there anything that you would have done differently? Let me know in the comments. And if you're working on your own children's book, join my Creativity Club on Facebook, where we share our projects and encourage and support each other and help each other to reach our goals. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And as always, you can email me at heather@heathercash.com. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.